right, welcome back to Mind and Magic. You want to see something crazy? When I was concerned that YouTube was going to demonetize this channel in lieu of their new policy on faceless and repetitive content, I had taken it upon myself to delete a lot of said content, in particular the clips videos, which I had started posting on their own channel anyway. However, in doing so, it took over 1 million views away from this channel. Because if you delete the videos, you delete their view count. And I was getting rid of the clips anyway and putting them on their new channel so that it wouldn't count against this channel being recommended. But now it's really not going to be recommended because I'm down 1 million views in one day. So that's how that works. So if anyone has a YouTube channel and they're thinking of deleting their content, just set it to private instead, because deleting it will certainly count against your channel. Just FYI. It also downgraded the channel from a B to a C- on Social Blade here, which ranks social media accounts. See, it could take years to build something up, but you can tear it all down in a very short time. I'm recording this on August 4th, so we still got another week of retrograde with Mercury. And it's already been one of the worst ones in recent memory. And I've had quite a few bad ones. Because typically, if you're going to have a rough retrograde, it's either at the beginning or the end. This one has just been consistently bad all the way through. It's been one thing after another. But it is what it is. Evelyn Hart writes, is it possible to make sure Agent Smith doesn't come through Pardner? This was on the Neighbor Randomly Crashes Out on FrAIter video. Well, let me answer that question with a question. Agent Smith is a Matrix reference. The Matrix is a computer-simulated reality, which many believe, including many scientists, that our reality is some sort of simulation. Now, the ones running the simulation of reality, whoever they may be, are able to jump into anyone they want, sometimes without the person even knowing that they're being controlled. So my question would be, how would you be able to stop that? Would there even be a defense against it? Because I'm thinking there's not. Now, I haven't seen any come through my partner, but I'm sure that they could and would if you're trying to reach the next level and they're trying to hold you back. But that could just be them also, because people do that anyway. And we've gone over before how the more successful that you are, the more people will fall away from you. And you may think it's the opposite. You may think that they'd be all happy for you and everything, but that's usually not what happens. If it does, then consider yourself quite lucky. Most people get jealous and start trash talking you behind your back. Agent Smiths usually won't do that. The ones that I have run into, and it's not like every day, it's not very often at all, but the ones that I have come across are very direct. It's like being in a horror movie where you're the only one who can see them for what they are, and everybody else just sees them as just some random person. But they're sitting there across the room staring at you with a smirk on their face and hatred in their eyes, and everyone else is oblivious to it. Or they'll say things that only you know the real meaning of, and nobody else gets it, because they're taking it at face value, which was not the way they intended it for you. Now, because of the rarity of these encounters, I wouldn't worry about them too much. They're so rare that I'm never ready for them. I'm always taken off guard. One of these times, I just want to be ready for it so I could just say, shut up, Agent Smith, and see what happens. But I'm always blindsided by it. It's always taken me by surprise. If it happened all the time, well, then I would be ready for it when it happens again. But it's not all that often. And it happens at times, like I said, when you're kind of leveling up, starting to shift into a higher vibration. That's when things start to occur and Agent Smiths are sent. Anything to keep you in your current vibration. In which case, then you may want to be on the lookout for one of these things to pop into someone you know and start messing with you. Or someone you don't know. Like the guy at the bar that I was telling you about. I didn't know that guy. Some stranger that all of a sudden has an compulsory obsessive interest in you, whose mission it is to mess with you and try to get you to crash out on them. Yeah, I don't like the Matrix agents or archons, whatever they are. I just find them creepy. But, unless your partner is switching personalities all the time, going back between themselves and Agent Smith, I don't think you have anything to worry about. As I've said, the few encounters that I've had with them, they've always been very direct. Like they single you out and come at you. None of them have been nice about it. You would certainly know if something's up with them. Chris Moore over at Patreon writes, as I was watching this, it reminded me that something like this is possible soon for me because I'm trying to get to the next level and everything figured out to be financially stable and be on my own, etc. I'm joining in the military and felt that something like this would happen during basic training and or after to try to get me into a lower vibration. What's my best course of magic to take? He adds, what should I do if an Agent Smith shows up when I'm trying to level up and better my life in the military? I'd be more worried about your drill sergeants because the military will break you down in order to build you back up tougher, stronger, and meaner. That's their job. One of the best miniseries of all time, in my opinion, is Band of Brothers. And that entire first episode of them going through basic training to become paratroopers, as grueling and as unfair as it was, helped to save their lives when they did get into combat. And as I said before, the Agent Smith thing's quite rare. I doubt you'll have any problems with them and you'll have more issues just with basic training in general, simply because it's not meant to be easy, not that anyone's out to get you. He says, I remember you talking about when you can't perform magic at home, it's best to perform magic solely in the mind. There really is no substitute for performing magic. I said adepts can perform magic in their own mind without the need for robe and ritual and anything physical. And that's really only if you have to, if there's no other way. It's always better to actually perform a ritual than to just imagine it. But if that's all you got, that's all you got. Not being able to perform magic, though, will make things a lot more difficult, but you can look at it as an opportunity to level up your focus and concentration skills. Practicing how long you can hold a detailed object in your mind's eye, because that is a very valuable skill to have as a magician. And just because you can't perform magic doesn't mean you can't practice magical skills. And as for the way of dealing with them if and when they do show up, which I don't think they will, but if they do, there's only one correct way to deal with them, and that's to pay them no mind. Don't lose your cool with them. Don't get angry with them, no matter how much they try to get you to. Frequency is all about how you feel more than anything else. So if someone is trying, whether deliberately or not, to lower your vibration, it's going to involve trying to make you feel bad, trying to anger you, to make you lose your cool with them. They're just trying to pass a negative charge onto you, and your only job is to deny them that. They want to pass off the negative charge to you so that you're carrying around that negative charge. And it's not easy to deflect that negative charge either. But that really is the only one move that you have. I'm sure you'll be fine without any of that, though. Like I said, boot camp is difficult enough without having to worry about the archons coming. But you have a plan for your future. I would stick with it and see it through. And you'll be able to return to doing magic in no time. I appreciate you, my friend. Frater Debo says, hell yeah, gotta show me how to make it rain. Literally, we sure can use it. Yeah, maybe not. It's very easy to make it rain. What I call calling the rain is very simple to do. The difficulty is in getting it to stop or controlling the intensity of it. Because any time that I've ever done it, either had a flood or some other kind of wicked hailstorm or winds that knocked down trees and destroyed the neighborhood. So don't think that calling the rain doesn't have a price tag associated with it. And it will also be honing in on you because you're the one that called the rain. And I know that with all the wildfires going on right now that a lot of people could use it, but should you? That's the real question. It's not something that I would want to really put out publicly. because then you'll have a bunch of people trying to call the rain all the time, which could be a real problem if everyone was doing it, because it's that simple to do. So I think what we'll do is we'll end the video here for those that are on YouTube, and we'll finish up this segment for those in the memberships. That way only a handful of people see it instead of a few thousand. But if you live in my area, don't use it. We finally just got some decent weather. We've gotten too much rain as it is this summer. Please don't make me regret giving this out. It's not a game, it's not a toy. Every time I've used it, it's caused major damage. And even who I learned it from talked about having that same issue with it. So for those of you on YouTube, I will see you next time. And for those on the memberships, we will go over how to call the rain. But before you leave, check out my website, mindandmagick.com, for even more magic, and I will see you soon. Take care.
I hate this place, this zoo, this prison, this reality, whatever you want to call it. Can't stand it any longer.